Many people know that America was the first country with nuclear weapons. But today, 10 countries have these weapons. Each country has its own story about how it got the bomb. These stories are often secret. They involve spying and trying to be stronger than others. These stories are as interesting as the American story, but people do not often hear them. We will look at the history of these 10 countries. We will see how they raced to build this technology. We will also learn about other countries that tried to get nuclear weapons but did not. The story starts in 1938. In Germany, scientists made a very important discovery. They learned about nuclear fission. This is a process where you can split small parts of an atom. When atoms split like this, they make a lot of energy. This energy can start a chain reaction, making more energy. 1 year later, in 1939, a famous scientist named Albert Einstein wrote a letter. He wrote it to the U.S. president at that time. Einstein warned the president. He said that this new discovery about splitting atoms could be used to make a very dangerous weapon. He told the president that America should think about this danger. Because of this warning and the war happening in the world, America started a big, secret project. It was called the Manhattan Project. Scientists from America, Britain, and Canada worked together on this project. They had a clear goal: to build the nuclear bomb. They worked very hard and very fast. They knew that Germany was also trying to make a nuclear weapon. The American, British, and Canadian scientists wanted to finish their bomb first. It was a very expensive project. Germany lost the war before the American bomb was ready, but the Manhattan Project continued. In July 1945, America was ready for a big test. This first test of a nuclear bomb happened in New Mexico. It was called the Trinity Test. The test was successful. It showed that the bomb worked. It was the most powerful weapon people had ever seen. Soon after the test, in August 1945, America used the new bombs. They dropped 2 bombs on cities in Japan. This stopped the fighting and ended World War II. But using these bombs did not end the story of nuclear weapons. It started a new time of competition. Other countries saw how powerful these weapons were. They wanted to have them too. This began a race for many countries to build their own nuclear bombs. 2. Russia and Britain get bombs. The Soviet Union was the second country to get nuclear weapons. They started thinking about this technology quite early, even in 1941. This was because they saw that scientists in Germany, Britain, and America stopped writing papers about nuclear fission, the process of splitting atoms. They suspected these other countries were secretly trying to build powerful bombs. After America used the bombs on Japan, the Soviet program worked much faster. Spies gave the Soviets some information from the U.S. bomb project, the Manhattan Project. However, the Soviets were not completely sure if the information from the spies was correct. They worried that maybe it contained false details. Because of this, they decided not to trust only the plans they got from spying. They did a lot of their own scientific research. They also used many German scientists who were captured after the Second World War to help them. The Soviets built their own designs for the bomb, but they also used the information from the U.S. designs to check if their own work was right. The Soviet Union tested its first nuclear bomb successfully in 1949. This test, called RDS-1, happened in Kazakhstan. It happened sooner than the United States expected, which surprised them. Now, the United States was not the only country in the world with this very powerful weapon. The third country to get the nuclear bomb was the United Kingdom, also called Britain. You might think that America would help Britain because they were close friends and fought wars together. But this did not happen in the way people expected. Britain had actually started some of the first important work on nuclear weapons even before the United States began its big project. This early British project was called tube alloys. It started in 1940. British scientists, with help from scientists from Germany, Austria, and Poland who came to Britain, did important studies. But Britain had limited money and resources because they were fighting in the Second World War. So, Britain gave all their early research and hard work to the United States. This research became a big part of the Manhattan Project. Britain and America made an agreement, the Quebec Agreement, saying they would share the final technology after the bomb was finished. But in 1945, after the United States successfully tested and used its bombs, the U.S. ended this agreement. They did not share the secret technology with Britain. Britain had to restart its own nuclear program to build the bomb alone. They worked quickly because they already had a lot of the basic knowledge. They also controlled a lot of the world's uranium, which is needed for bombs. Britain successfully tested its first nuclear bomb in 1952. The test was called Operation Hurricane and happened in the Montebello Islands near Australia. It took a few years, but Britain finished the bomb largely by itself. 3. Bigger bombs. France too. After Russia got the atomic bomb in 1949, America quickly decided to build something much bigger and stronger. The race for nuclear power changed. America started working on a new type of weapon called a hydrogen bomb, or H-bomb. These bombs did not split atoms like the first ones. Instead, they joined atoms together, using a process similar to what happens inside the sun. This made them incredibly powerful. Some scientists, including people who helped make the first bombs, felt these H-bombs were too risky for the world. But President Truman approved the plan. In 1952, America tested its first hydrogen bomb. This test was named Ivy Mike. The explosion was huge, hundreds of times stronger than the atomic bomb dropped on the city of Nagasaki at the end of World War II. The world saw that bombs could be far more destructive. After America's test, Russia also developed and tested its own H-bomb in 1955. Britain, the third country with atomic bombs, also tested its first H-bomb in 1957. Then, France became the fourth country to join this small group with nuclear weapons. After the difficult years of the Second World War, France wanted to have its own strength and independence. It felt that having nuclear bombs was important for its place in the world and to protect itself without always needing help from allies. After some difficult times for France and growing tension between America and Russia, France decided it needed its own powerful defense. French President Charles de Gaulle was a strong leader who believed this. He said having nuclear weapons was essential for France to be a truly sovereign nation, able to make its own decisions, not just follow others like the United States or NATO. France began its nuclear program after the war, initially looking at nuclear energy, but world events pushed them to build bombs. France worked mostly on its own, gathering materials like uranium from places it controlled. French scientists worked very hard to build the technology. In 1960, France tested its first atomic bomb in the Sahara Desert in Algeria. It was a significant step. Later, in 1968, France successfully tested its first hydrogen bomb. Now, 4 countries had the ability to create immense destruction, changing the balance of power in the world. 4. China and Israel get bombs. China became the 5th country in the world to have nuclear weapons. China wanted to be a strong country and have the bomb to stand up to America. Having the bomb was important for their power and safety. China's bomb changed the balance of power in Asia. Russia, which was the Soviet Union at that time, helped China at the start of their nuclear program. The 2 countries were friends. But then Russia and China had a big disagreement about politics. Because of this, Russia suddenly stopped all help for China's nuclear work. All Russian experts left China. China had to do the rest by itself. China worked very hard and very fast. They made quick progress, even when the country had difficult times and big changes, like the Cultural Revolution. China put a lot of its money and many of its best scientists and workers into the project. They also found large amounts of uranium in their own land. This was a key material and helped the work go faster. In October 1964, China successfully tested its first atomic bomb in a desert area. Only a short time later, in June 1967, China also tested its first hydrogen bomb. Going from the first atomic bomb test to the hydrogen bomb test in just over 2.5 years was incredibly fast for any country. Israel is known as the sixth country with nuclear weapons. But Israel is different from the others. The government of Israel has never officially said that it has nuclear bombs. It does not admit it at all. This policy of not admitting it is sometimes called nuclear ambiguity. So nobody knows exactly how many bombs Israel has, or the exact date they were ready. Israel started working on nuclear energy with France back in the 1950s. France helped Israel build a large, secret nuclear place in the Negev desert. In the early 1960s, the United States was worried. U.S. President Kennedy thought Israel might be making bombs in this secret place, not just energy for power. He wanted America to be able to visit and check the site often. But Israel did not full checks. They delayed things and showed only parts of the building that looked like energy research. They hid underground areas where the real work on making bombs was happening. Israel's leader at that time, David Ben-Gurion, strongly believed Israel needed nuclear weapons for its safety. This caused some tension with America for a while. It is believed that Israel finished making its first bombs around 1967. Later, in 1986, a man named Mordechai Vanunu, who worked at the secret Israeli site, told the news about the program. He shared photos and documents that showed Israel had nuclear weapons and how they were made. This revealed a big secret to the world. Israel caught Vanunu outside the country and sent him to prison for many years for telling the secret. It is also believed that Israel later developed and has the more powerful hydrogen bombs. Israel continues its policy of not admitting it has nuclear weapons today. 5. India and Pakistan's bombs. India was the 7th country to get nuclear weapons. They began working on them after World War II. India wanted the bombs for protection. They were worried about China and Pakistan, their neighbors. India's work went faster after losing a border fight with China in 1962. India used materials from nuclear reactors. These reactors were for making energy, but India used the material for a bomb. In 1974, India tested its first bomb. They called it a peaceful nuclear explosion. This test was in the desert in Rajasthan. But many countries around the world were unhappy. They put limits on India. India did not sign an important paper that stops countries from getting nuclear weapons. India did not make the bombs ready for war until later, in the 1990s. Most Indian politicians were against making actual weapons ready. Pakistan is a country that does not like India. Pakistan became the 9th country with nuclear weapons. After India tested its bomb in 1974, Pakistan wanted its own bomb very badly. The leader of Pakistan at that time said they would do anything, even go hungry, to get the bomb. A scientist from Pakistan named A.Q. Khan was important in this. He took secret information about making nuclear fuel from a place in Europe. This information helped Pakistan build its bomb program. The country China also helped Pakistan. China gave Pakistan ideas and materials. China and India were also rivals, so China helped Pakistan to balance power. The United States did not stop Pakistan much at first, because Pakistan helped the U.S. against Russia in Afghanistan. In 1998, India tested several more bombs, including a bigger type. Just a few weeks later, Pakistan also tested 5 bombs. Pakistan did its tests underground in the Rasco Mountains. This showed the world that Pakistan now had nuclear weapons too. Pakistan and India both had the bomb. India says it will not use its bombs first. Pakistan says it might use its bombs first if it needs to. Later, the scientist A.Q. Khan said that he had sold nuclear technology to countries like North Korea, Iran, and Libya. This made many countries worried about nuclear secrets spreading to others. 6. South Africa gives up, North Korea makes. South Africa was the 8th country to have nuclear weapons. Its story is special. South Africa had a lot of uranium. This material is important for making bombs. South Africa started making bombs because the world was against its government and it felt danger from countries near it. Many people think South Africa tested a bomb with Israel in the ocean in the year 1979. After this, by the mid-1980s, South Africa had 6 bombs. It is thought that Israel helped South Africa build these bombs, maybe in return for uranium. But then things changed. The special government in South Africa ended. Also, the big fight between America and Russia, called the Cold War, finished. South Africa did not feel the same danger anymore. The government did not want to give the bombs to the next government. So, South Africa decided to do something no country had done before. It chose to break all its nuclear bombs. South Africa showed the world it had the bombs, and then it destroyed them. This made South Africa the first country to build nuclear weapons and then get rid of them all by itself. North Korea is the 10th country to get nuclear weapons. Its leader, Kim Il-sung, thought having bombs was very important for his country to stay safe and strong against other countries, especially South Korea and America. In the past, Russia and China helped North Korea with nuclear power for energy, but they did not help them make weapons. North Korea worked mostly alone to make its bomb. It used uranium found in its own country. This was a big help because it did not need to buy the material from others. America was worried about North Korea making bombs. In the 1990s, North Korea made a promise to America to stop making weapons material. But the promise was broken. North Korea left an important international group that tries to stop the spread of nuclear weapons. Then, in the year 2006, North Korea tested its first nuclear bomb underground. It has tested more bombs since then, including stronger types called H-bombs. 8. Sharing bombs, trying to stop them. Not all countries made their own nuclear bombs. Some countries kept bombs from other countries on their land. This happened a lot during the Cold War. This was a time when the United States and Russia, the Soviet Union, were big rivals. The United States placed nuclear weapons in many friendly countries. These countries were mostly in Europe. Russia also put nuclear weapons in countries near it. They did this to protect their friends and look strong. Today, some of these bombs are still in those countries. For example, the United States still has some nuclear weapons in Europe. Russia recently put some nuclear weapons back in a country called Belarus. Besides countries that built or hosted bombs, there were others that tried to make them but stopped. They worked on building nuclear weapons but did not finish the job. This happened for different reasons. Sometimes other countries asked them strongly to stop. This is called international pressure. Sometimes making the bombs was too difficult or cost too much money. Countries like Argentina, Brazil, Iraq, and Iran tried to make bombs but stopped their programs. There are also areas in the world called nuclear-free zones. In these zones, the countries there agree not to have nuclear weapons. They promise not to make them, test them, or let other countries keep them there. This is a way to stop the spread of nuclear bombs. Examples of these zones include all of Latin America and Africa. There are also nuclear-free zones in the South Pacific, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. Even the cold land of Antarctica is a place where nuclear activity is not allowed. 8. Hidden bombs and tomorrow. Today, many countries with nuclear weapons do not keep all their bombs on land. A large number are hidden on special boats called submarines. These submarines are very quiet and can move deep underwater for many months. They are constantly moving in the world's large oceans. This makes it extremely difficult for another country to find them. The reason countries hide bombs on submarines is for safety. If a country was attacked and all its bomb places on land were destroyed, the submarines would still be safe. These hidden submarines can then launch their nuclear bombs back at the country that attacked them. This is called second strike capability, meaning a country can strike back even after being hit first. This ability is a very strong form of deterrence. It helps prevent a nuclear war because it shows that an attack would lead to terrible damage in return. No country wants to suffer nuclear destruction, so the threat of a strike back from submarines helps keep the peace, though it is a dangerous peace. Building nuclear bombs is a huge task. It costs a lot of money, billions of dollars. It also needs very smart scientists and engineers. Special materials like a certain type of uranium are needed, and these materials are hard to get and prepare. The factories and machines needed are very complex. It is also extremely difficult to keep a nuclear program a secret in today's world. Many satellites orbit the Earth high above. They can see details on the ground and detect activities that might be related to making nuclear weapons. Scientists also use special equipment to sense if a country has tested a bomb, even a small one underground or in the ocean. Even a small flash detected by a satellite many years ago showed how hard secrets are to keep. Despite these difficulties, some people worry that more countries will try to build nuclear weapons in the future. People talk about countries like Iran or Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia has said clearly that if Iran gets a bomb, they will try to get one too. This shows how the decision of one country can push others to follow. The story of nuclear weapons is still going on. It is a story of science, power, fear, and secrecy. It started with a few powerful nations, and now 10 countries have bombs. But the future is not clear. Will more countries develop these terrible weapons? Or will the world find a way to stop their spread? The race might continue, and the list of countries with bombs could get longer. What do you think is the biggest danger of nuclear weapons today?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.